Hello, everybody.
4, 3, 2, kick it. I want to hear your opinion. This man has been talking to me nonstop about Super Mario Odyssey. I'm not a big I'm not a Nintendo fan, but I can tell you right now, I did get my hands on Super Nintendo, the console, the minis. I actually got 2 copies. I appreciate it from my boy. Actually, shout out to him, the GameStop on, I believe, on 142nd and H Street. The manager, Rob. I appreciate it, man. But I want to hear your thoughts about Super Mario Odyssey. You've been telling me nothing but great things about it, man.
Dude, so it's no secret. I've been like hooked on the Switch, man. I dabble. Surprisingly, I've been spending a lot of time on some PC games, and I've been dabbling a little bit on the PS4. But most of my attention has been going to the Switch, mainly because it's portable, and to be able to get Mario and take it on the go. So my favorite game of all time is Final Fantasy VII, but the second game of all time. And this is spoilers because I was going to do a top 10 list. But my second most favorite game of all time is Super Mario Brothers 3. It's like, it's even though I would consider myself growing up, it's crazy because I consider myself a Sonic or Sega kid growing up because that was what I grew up on. And then later on in life, I was able to get my hands and play Super Mario Brothers 3. And I actually have
great game.
I have a box one there, like the cartridge box. I'll show it to you after the show. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's legit. Yeah. I have it legit with instruction manual and everything. Like, it's cool. So this Mario game had a lot of expectation, at least from me, and I know from a lot of people out there. So I went in with it expecting, like, my expectations were through the roof. And let me tell you, man, for a game to actually like deliver on that high of expectation is saying something. So you've been seeing the reviews, IGN, GameSpot, a lot of these sources, a lot of them are giving them perfect scores and calling them Game of the Year. Right now, as it stands today, I would say that it's my front runner. I keep going back and forth between Zelda Breath of the Wild and
game winner for this guy, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you that
game of the year.
Yeah, for sure.
So the game is, and I'll tell you a little bit about why I like it so much. So basically, and you mentioned a hub. So the hub is technically, there is no hub, but the hub is if you want to call it that, is that ship. So there's a ship that he goes on from world to world. So that's what it's built on right now, rather than the old type of thing where you kind of go to the different worlds on top of the map and you control it that way. It's not like that. So basically you have to collect these moons, which is nothing new to Mario games. There's always been like different collectibles, and then in order to move on to the next world, you gotta collect these things, and they call them moons in this game.
Okay.
So it's so much fun to kind of get through the game, and some of these puzzles are super creative. I mean, like, these Japanese like creators are freaking insane, bro.
No, I believe you, man. I'm telling you right now.
The design of some of these things.
I've seen. Don't get me wrong. I've seen the gameplay of Super Mario Odyssey, and I'm gonna tell you. I was talking to you earlier during the show that the fact that there was a part of the game, that the fact that Mario goes down to the tube, the green tube, of course, iconic, and it goes to 2D.
It goes to 2D.
In just 2D, man, and it just blows my mind. I'm gonna have to say, look, I'll be honest with you. If I have to get a Nintendo Switch, I will pick a Nintendo Switch over an Xbox One X in a heartbeat right now.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that he mentioned about the hub, I think right now with the games, all these hubs, I think it's becoming a big thing now. Because as you know, remember, hubs were like a thing that you can, socialize with other people. Like, for example, World of Warcraft, Destiny now. For sure. Now, and then, for example, like what we just talked about with Call of Duty, and now with the Super Mario, I think the hub industry right now as in getting involved into hubs, I think that's becoming a big thing now with console games. And it doesn't matter with console games, with PCs.
Right, so you're seeing a lot of like these PC like designs from like yesteryear kind of being implemented into the consoles, and part of that is due to the fact that now these consoles are built on PC architecture, so it's easier to transfer that sort of stuff. But kind of getting back to Odyssey is, again, I don't want to spoil the game because it was just released recently, and I just beat it last night, man. That game just puts a smile on your face.
I'm telling you, he's been playing this since I spoke to him. He's like, bro, I've been playing Super Mario Odyssey, And I'm like, man, bro, this guy needs to get off. And the only reason why he's been playing that is because, remember, guys, the Super, not the Super Nintendo, the Nintendo Switch is portable.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure this guy goes, plays it on the TV, and then when he needs to go take some shit, this guy for sure he takes it over there. So I mean that's good, man, that you beat the game. But go ahead, man.
So. Basically, I will say this. I'm not gonna ruin it, and I might have, and I kind of alluded to this in my last episode, where I think I'm gonna have like a spoiler cast, just go over the ins and outs of the games and why I like it specifically rather than generally speaking. But I will say this: there's moments in that game that you do not expect that are phenomenal. The design is phenomenal, and it's a game that just puts a big smile on your face. It's not. And this is probably one of the reasons why I'm edging it over Zelda Breath of the Wild is, and I mentioned this to you, is Zelda Breath of the Wild is a great game, but the tone is very dark to me. Like, it's this kind of defeating like this big overarching evil. And Mario's just like, forget all convention, forget game over screens, it's just about having fun. And every level's designed that way where you never feel stuck. There's definitely going to be challenges involved with the game once you go back. So once you beat the game really opens up, and that's really when it gets going. So I'm just tapping into that, and that's part of the reason I want to hold off my discussion on the game. But highly recommend it, man. For those who haven't played the game, definitely would recommend that.
So I do have a question about Super Mario Odyssey. Now,
sure.
As you guys know, Super Mario has been with us for generations. With us.
Right.
And from back, with the NES when Mario debuted with, I believe, with Super Mario Brothers, if I'm not mistaken. My question is to you, James, is that do you really compare it to this one to beat Super Mario 64? Because remember, Super Mario 64 made a drastic change to the game industry, because the fact that after Super Mario 64, you had, if I'm not mistaken, Super Mario Sunshine and Super Mario Galaxy. So my question, like I said, was, do you compare this one to be the feeling as in Super Mario 64 being better, or you think Super Mario Odyssey would be the best one?
So it's kind of early to tell. So part of the reason that the Mario 64 is so great is because you mentioned it. It was a defining game in a moment that it felt very static. At least a lot of the games did, and it brought like a fresh, new kind of thing. Mario Odyssey is more building on that formula, so it's not like game changing in any ways that I see, other than that the design is very phenomenal. I don't know if I would say that it's better than 64. I mean, if you go back and play 64 now versus Odyssey, I would probably say that I'd enjoy the gameplay better on Odyssey.
Absolutely.
Just because it has like the newer type of game design
I agree.
behind it. But I don't know if it's a more important game. I don't know that it's a more kind of industry defining game. And those are the things that I think would give the edge. And obviously, it's been years and years and years since 64, and you can go back to that game and it's still extremely playable. Will Odyssey be that way in the future? I don't know. So as far as the gameplay mechanics, I think they're better in Odyssey, again, because it's more modernized way of playing game. The game overall, I don't know, man. Maybe I had to spend a little bit more time with it, but I think I would still give the edge to 64 by a hair. Right now, I would say that's probably my third favorite Mario game. If I had to stack them today, it would be Super Mario 3, 64, and then Odyssey right below.
That's a good top three right there.
I think that would be my top three in that order. And now, if I spend more time with Odyssey and I get enamored in 3 or 4 months down the line, I'm like, I want to pick it up again and play some more, or maybe even further, 3 or 4 years down the line. That feeling, that itch that you get from Mario 64, if that feeling is there for Mario, I think those are going to be the defining attributes that make it or give it the edge over 64. Everything.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good.